Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about an amazing post Alex Viata put up yesterday that I saw. Wanted to share with you guys and discuss this topic. Now, for those of you who don't know who Alex Viata is, he's the owner and founder of Complete Human Performance. He is himself a hybrid athlete who, again, has a formal education in the field, as well as very, very competitive in multiple sports, ranging from 2 types of powerlifting to multiple types of endurance events like triathlons, super marathons, all of that. So basically, this is a guy who can deadlift 700 pounds and go compete in a triathlon or super marathon in the same year, and routinely does. He also coaches hybrid athletes. He specializes in that. He even prepares people for the CrossFit Games, coaches people who want to compete in more than one type of sport concurrently. And that's what he specializes in. He's actually put together a fantastic team of people. And I actually generally recommend his services in his company. The guy is very, very intelligent. So if you have someone who really understands recovery from training, this is your guy, because when you think about it, he trains people to be able to compete in extreme endurance events and strength sports at the same time. Now, you talk about people who are going to be beat up and banged up. There you have it. Who's going to be more beat up and in more need of recovery than people who run marathons while doing powerlifting and strength sports and stuff like that? All right? That's about as tough as it gets. Yet he feels that people take the wrong approach to this. In fact, I saw him make a statement under there talking about this, that in his opinion, foam rolling's okay, but he's never seen one bit of evidence, either scientifically or anecdotally, that would suggest that foam rolling actually really enhances recovery, or that it prevents injuries in the long term, meaning that even people who religiously foam roll don't get injuries at any lower rate for it, from what he can tell, that it's okay for stopping muscle cramping, and that's generally what it is. But that's the big thing. Myofascial release became a really, really big deal in the last decade, to the point to where everyone does tons of it. They think that foam rolling is like a cure-all for everything. And it's fine. Myofascial release has benefits for short-term recovery. I mean, if you have a muscle that's spasming or cramping from just hitting it with a high workload, or maybe you were slightly dehydrated, there's a big cause of cramping in training. Not enough fluids or electrolytes in, a muscle's cramping, you get some water in and you foam roll it, you can stop that cramping. All right, that is very, very valuable. That's useful. I mean, that makes foam rolling useful, because that is a common problem for people who are pushing their limits and training hard. You're going to get cramps and stuff in muscles. Foam rolling is fantastic for that. But as far as it actually increasing mobility or preventing injuries, no, not at all. And again, it's a decent form of deep tissue work. People who are getting knots in muscles due to something going on wrong with their training or stress or whatever, yeah, foam rolling has its place there. But it's definitely not a cure-all, and everyone wants to do that. Everyone wants to, just as he put it, smash the shit out of everything when it's sore. If you don't know why a muscle is sore, or a joint, or a tendon, they just smash the shit out of it. Foam rollers, lacrosse balls, everything else. Why? People aren't stepping back and thinking through that maybe in some cases this might be counterproductive. This might actually be harmful. But people aren't thinking about that. They aren't thinking that through. They're just thinking through what's become the current dogma. You just get in and just smash everything. Well, stop and think about that with muscles. Why is a muscle sore? Sometimes a muscle is sore from DOMs. Again, you went through excessive training methods. You either did too many slow negatives. That can cause DOMs. You subjected a muscle to more workload than you should have. You increased the workload dramatically too quickly. That's not useful for gains. That's not something you should be doing. So you foam roll it for that. Okay. It might help. It might help it feel a little better, but only if it's from cramping or whatever. But what about other reasons you get sore? Think about this. What if you got a minor tear in a muscle? Sometimes you get pain in a muscle due to little minor tears in the muscle pulls. If you've pulled a muscle, I want you to stop and think about that. You really think you should be applying myofascial release to it? What do you think that's going to do to the area that it's torn? And people need to understand, anytime a muscle you see any bruising or even a muscle pull is a tear. It's just a minor tear. But you're taking that area of tearing and you're pulling it further apart. That's what myofascial release does. So you're going to foam roll or dig a lacrosse ball into a minor tear. You do know that's going to make the tears bigger, right? What? Oh, people didn't think of that. You're making the muscle tear bigger. If you make the muscle tear bigger, what does that do to your recovery time? It means it's going to take longer to heal. If it takes longer to heal, that's a bad thing. You just made the problem worse. Why would you do that? Because everyone else does? Monkey see, monkey do? Because someone else does it, but you don't stop and think through if it's a good idea. You know, I'm gonna use this expression, and I know people hate this because they're like, "Oh my God, my mom told me this as a kid. Oh my God, please don't do that." If everyone else jumped off of a bridge, would you do it too? Or as my grandpa used to say, if everyone else was sticking their head in a bucket of shit, would you do it too? All right then. Well, some people would say, "Yeah, I guess I would if all my friends were doing it." Well, then you know you get what's coming to you. Monkey see, monkey do, but don't complain when bad shit happens when you do stupid shit because everyone else is doing it. You should never be foam rolling a muscle pull. How about sore tendons? Yeah, people get a tendon that's sore. They have no idea why it's sore. Well, why do you think it's sore? What causes tendons to get sore? Either inflammation or little micro tears in them. Micro tearing from excessive workload. Do you think putting side stress, like a lateral stress like that, on something that's a tissue that's got minor tears in it that's causing it pain is going to help you? It might numb it a little bit. It might stop hurting for just a little bit because of the pressure you applied, but you slowed down recovery. You just slowed down recovery. You slowed down recovery. How's that going to help? How about joints that hurt? Now, why are you going to do soft tissue work on a hurting joint? Maybe your joints hurt because you got terrible mobility. Maybe you haven't done proper mobility training. Maybe that's part of your problem. How is running a foam roller or a lacrosse ball around that joint going to hurt? Is it going to help? It's not. And so Alex is right. You know, you see people who have this idea of, oh, just smash the shit out of everything that hurts. Why? Maybe you need to figure out why it's hurting and come up with a better solution. And if you have something that's chronically hurting, and the foam rolling isn't making it better because it keeps hurting again, maybe you're doing something fucking wrong. Maybe there's something seriously wrong with your training. Maybe the foam rolling's making it worse. Because if you keep having to do it, something is wrong. You need to go see someone who can rehabilitate what's going on. You need to look at what you're doing, what's affecting your mobility or tightness, what's causing it. Because you are not going to fix mobility or tightness issues by using myofascial release. And the reality is you might be getting tears because you're training incorrectly. And then you keep re-injuring and making those tears worse with the stupid-ass foam roller or lacrosse ball. Something people need to consider here. You know what? Because plenty of people were extremely successful athletes long before this existed. And it certainly hasn't done anything to improve anything. Like I said, I mean, foam rolling has its place, particularly when you've got muscles that are cramping up. I'd say that's the best use of it, to get that muscle cramping to stop by putting mechanical force to the fibers that pull them back apart and cause myofascial release. But as far as it being an injury prevention tool, or it really helping heal something that needs recovery, absolutely not. There's no data to suggest any of that's true. And people shouldn't be using something like this that has potential negatives to make things worse as a cure-all for everything. But people don't think this stuff through. And I think Alex is absolutely right, because everyone's answer to all of this is just smash the shit out of it, smash the shit out of it. But the reality is you might be smashing the shit out of it in a bad way. And oftentimes people are, because again, people who are obsessed with doing it all the time sure don't seem to be getting any better or improving as a result of it. So how much is it really helping them? All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.